life is sweet and sour, war and serenity, slavery and divinity. They wondering what's gotten into me. I'm not a man or a god, I'm an entity. My ancestors sending me on a victory lap, just trying to be where Nipsey was at. Real recognize real, so I'm tipping my cap. Elevated but my center's intact. And true saint come around, sinners react. The crusade back in play and I'm on the attack. Came with the Tommy like Will and Men in Black. This is divine timing, ain't no turning back. Diamond shining, I remember we was cold men black. They sold my ancestors but I stole them back.
It's the apocalypse, nigga. It's the apocalypse, nigga. It's the apocalypse, nigga. It's the apocalypse, nigga. It's the apocalypse,
You're my new religion. It was in the dreams. From what it seems to be a true religion. Must be God, how you fit that ass in them jeans. Genuine character, be behind the scenes. Sometimes I stare at you, it reminds me of my dreams. You were the girl in them, and this is what it seems. This what I believe. I pray for you, and they pray for me. Had me sinking in the waters, God's way for me. Found out that you waited for me. Now that wait is relieved. Don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but terror and doom looms from error and sad tools. Compares to that dude, I'm mirrored in that too. They scared of my bad moves, but I got a bag too. You better get back, move, because the missiles is locked, malicious pistols is cocked. The army very different from cops. I observe and listen and watch. Hall of Fame the way I'm pitching the rock. The same shit from the lip, just a chip from the block. Nope, see, you niggas ain't ready. Nope, nope, you niggas ain't ready. Revelation, contemplation, transformation. It's Friday the 13th, and guess who playing Jason? You niggas ain't ready. Nope, you niggas ain't ready. Nope, you niggas ain't ready. Revelation, contemplation, transformation. Friday the 13th, and guess who playing Jason? It's me, nigga. I seen it in my crystal ball under the mistletoe. I seen this shit crystal clear. They feel like they getting close. The timing already here. They feel like I didn't know. My ancestors had me prepared. I'm using a different scope because the missiles is locked, malicious pistols is cocked. The army different from cops. I observe, I listen and watch. Hall of Fame the way I'm pitching the rock. The same shit from the lip, just a chip from the block. No, these niggas ain't ready. No, these niggas ain't ready. Revelation, contemplation, transformation. It's Friday the 13th. Revelation, contemplation, transformation. Friday the 13th, and guess who playing Jason?
Yeah, it is Tantric Tuesdays. It is your host with the most. It's hood in the morning, even though it's not the morning. It's like the afternoon. Depending on where you at, it's hood in the morning because no matter what time it is, somewhere in the world it is morning. So shout out to everybody just waking up. Shout out to all my strippers, my drug dealers, my scammers. Um, all the people out there that's up to no good. Shout out to everybody that's doing good. Shout out to everybody who is doing bad because it's going to get better. Yeah, man, I got an interesting show lined up for y'all. It's just some things that I just wanted to talk about, some things that was on my heart, some things that were on my mind. Um, it's a lot going on, but a lot of times it's very important to just kind of slow down and let the spirit roll through you and flow through you. So before I get into the conversation, be sure to peep out my Substack. Link is in the description. We got a lot more things that are going to be uploaded on there in the month of June. Just been really in a space where the downloads have been coming. And since the downloads have been coming, I've been doing a lot of writing. And when I'm doing a lot of writing, I view that as like my planning phase. And then once I get into my execution phase, it's going straight to the Substack. So thanks for everybody who has been supporting me over there. And if you're interested in just getting the written word and instead of like the spoken word, I do the videos. It's just kind of like a promotion for the things that I write because not only am I a handsome dark chocolate piece of a Snickers, I'm also an author. You can Google me, Kyrie, that is Kyree, last name Anthony. Just put that in Google and my name should pop up. Got books on Amazon. I also have books on my own website, ColumbianExchange.com. As you can see, me and my wife's website that we've been operating since 2016. So what does that give us? That gives us 7 years. And over the time, we have perfected our craft. We're kind of really moving into capsules and same stuff we've been having. We had the herbs off because we were transitioning into our new home, but now we are transitioned into our new home. So now we have our herbs back on our website. And of course, I don't want y'all to think that I'm like a special person because I have a Shopify store. Okay? If you want to start a Shopify store, you could start one for free just by clicking the link that's in my description. And you get the first 3 months free. I get $100. And of course, you can use me as a resource. Any questions that I can help you with, as far as marketing, building up your email list, how to send out emails. Now, if you want to sell online, you got to get your email marketing chops up. And the beautiful thing about email marketing, anybody can do it. And the interesting thing, right? I never thought about it until I started to think about it. So now I'm going to have y'all think about it. Think about the last time you bought something via an email that you've gotten. If you never did it, you never did it, but I have. And so I like to buy stickers, right? And so the sticker company that I buy my stickers from is so good at email marketing that I'm always buying fucking stickers. So since I always already do that, I just said, oh, I'm going to just do emails like the sticker company. And since then, it's been on and popping. So just think about the things that you like to buy, what motivates you to buy them, do that for other people, and now you got a business. So any more ideas like that, you want to pick my brain, Link in the description. Email address is hoodmystic@gmail.com. Hey Hood, I signed up for Shopify. I used your link. But I don't know shit about email marketing. I want to talk more about it. You got time? I got time, and we can connect on something because your success is my success at the end of the day. And if I could do anything to help you, that's just because people have done that for me. You know, a lot of the information that I've gained over these years have been fucking free, right? So everything don't cost money. Some things do, right? So yeah, let's get into the conversation. Not just yet. Be sure to check out one of my favorite websites. I can't even lie to y'all, man. WhiteRabbitPsych.com. Me and my wife, we just did the Detroit Hoodoo Festival last weekend. Just want to thank everybody that came out, the vendors, the people, just connecting with people at a spiritual level, right? That's just a beautiful thing. Like it's no real pretense when you do these events. Just people just automatically in that mode and just seeing the light in the people and seeing the destiny in those people because I'm doing this spiritual work and I can see a lot just in the energy. So it's just a beautiful thing to just be out in the world and connecting to people. But with that being said, we was representing White Rabbit Psychedelics or whiterabbitpsych.com, which is another website that me and my wife run. We have 3 new interesting products we want to bring your awareness to. One of those being the Stammet Stack Microdose Capsule, right? Now, so many people, bro, they come to me, they're going through shit, bro. Like, people are going through shit. And I can't even lie. I was one of the main ones really going through shit mentally. And just really the things that I know I need to do and not having the emotional and mental will to do it consistently. Because, you know, I feel like if I was born as a Gen Z, I would probably be diagnosed as on the spectrum of autism. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with that because my whole life I never felt normal or capable of doing the things that other people could do. However, because, you know, I'm 38, but I feel like my life didn't really start until I was 35, right? So for 3 years, I've been microdosing and I've been on this path to kind of just healing this part of me that mushrooms, like, you know, it's like for me, you know, I just have to kind of really submit to the mushroom. I have to kind of submit to psilocybin. I have to just be like, you know what, you won, because it's only so much healing that a person can do till he start to recognize what it is that's actually healing them and why and how. And so, you know, the turns that are happening in my life outside of YouTube, outside of Shopify, outside of White Rabbit Psychedelics, like if all of these 3 things go away from me, and these are my businesses, these are my livelihoods, this is how I feed my kids. But at the same time, the mushroom is so powerful that if you take those 3 things away from me, it has already given me purpose outside of all of the shit that I'm already doing. So as I'm taking steps in my real life to build my real career and my real standing in the world outside of the internet, I'm very proud of everything that I've accomplished and everything that I've done. But I'm also realizing that my story isn't over, and that's a result of healing. And so today we're going to talk about healing and really the process of spirituality. And, you know, I don't feel like I've gotten it yet. So I can't imagine that the audience has gotten it yet. So my idea is that if you think that you understand spirituality, the reality is that you don't, because spirituality is not something that you understand the same way as that you don't understand the breath and stop taking it, right? So when we talk about spirituality, we're also talking about the breath. So we're really getting to some bare bones. We're getting to some channels. We're getting to some information that is, here to help us really kind of unify the spiritual side of us, the soul side of us, and the conscious side of us. And it comes with the result. It comes with the plan. It comes with the solution. The effort of healing. And I'm telling you, do your research on lion's mane. Do your research on psilocybin and go through the thousands of research studies. You can buy a whole system in Ferndale, Michigan now for like $75. I was about to buy the system just because I could have just bought it. I was like, man, I got mushrooms at home. I was just like bugging out. Like, they had some shit that I ain't have though. I was like, man, I might go back and just get it just because it just show people like, yo, I'm not saying anything that is not going to be normal conversation in the next 4 to 5 years. But at the end of the day, the world can have this shit. Because I know, it's like when you know your purpose, when you're in the spirit, there is a level of whatever. And whatever is a powerful energy when you are hard pressed and kind of hung up on what everybody got to say and what everybody got to do. And so the comments are a thing that I'm gonna have to look closer into because as y'all can tell, I don't have my glasses on. So I can't never see shit without my glasses. So I'm pulling the comments up so I can see. All right, so we're about to get into this conversation. And the conversation is based on feeling spirit. Feeling spirit. Can you feel the spirit? Now, feeling the spirit is not a result of journaling, is not a result of meditation, is not a result of lucid dreaming, is not a result of going to a conference, a retreat. You can do all of these things, but spirit operates on its own time and in its own energy. And one must involve its mind in spiritual things, be surrounded and immersed in divine things mentally and consciously in order to possibly have an opportunity to feel source, to feel the spirit, to feel the soul. So when you pay money for a course, when you pay money for a class, you're not going to feel anything, okay? Not spiritually. Because the intellect cannot get us to the soul. When we fall in love, is usually in contrast to what we think. Our heart tells us something that our mind does not really, we can't really compute it. So love then becomes something that we can't really truly explain. We feel love from a person. We don't think love. You don't think about love. Your love is not in your head. So I want to bring up that the sun is in Taurus conjunct Pleiades. This is a time to express higher divine concepts. This is a time to really get centered into a portal type mindset, to be able to transcend your thoughts above and beyond the illusion, because the illusion is very dense and thick. The illusion is very troubling. So when you look at the external world, and it might not be in your home, but outside of your home, there is a lot of anxiety, trist, lack of clarity, lack of spiritual development, lack of peace. So if you look to these things for spiritual strength, you will be defeated. One's in the chat if that makes sense. If you look to the external world, you will feel defeated. But you're not supposed to look to the internal world. I'm sorry, you're not supposed to look to the external world. The sun is in Taurus. The sun is in the throat. The sun is in what you speak. Your expression comes from God. Your expression does not come from your experience. When you speak, when your child speaks, when a baby cries, it doesn't come from experience. It comes from an inner knowing. And that inner knowing is always with you, but is easily forgotten when you don't have the things that you wish to have. And the reality of that particular paradigm is that you exist in that paradigm. We all exist in that paradigm. We want things that we do not have, for which the Hood Mystic will come on a live YouTube channel and say, the only thing that we all share in common, that we all have, that we all can bear witness to, is our soul, is our inner consciousness. So if spirit is showing you mental illness in others that you need to depend on, or you want to depend on, or sickness and surgery and calamity, if it's showing you this, it's showing you this because your dependence on that particular thing for emotional and mental and physical sustainment is out of alignment. When you have to really get into what you say, when you get into the science of what you say, because Taurus rules the throat, but Taurus is already an earth sign. So how can we relate the throat to earth in manifestation? So the science of expression is the science of manifestation. I only speak what I want to create. Earth. Throat represents what you create, and it's a subtle science. It could be a genius to say, I have a tough time with running a Shopify center. I'm an artist, I'm a painter, I have products, I have ideas, I have promotional ideas, I can make t-shirts, I can make comforters, I can make rugs, I can do all types of dope stuff, but I suck at selling. What is the mistake that I'm saying in that conversation? The mistake that I'm saying is I suck at selling, because this is something that I tell everybody, and everybody don't get it. I said everything I was way before it actually was. I was saying it way before it materialized. Because at a certain point, I would say fuck shit And guess what materialized, y'all? Fuck shit. So what Taurus becomes, what Sun conjunct Pleiades becomes, it becomes a responsibility in reference to what you plan to manifest is in complete alignment with what you vocalize. And as easy as I said that, this probably would be the hardest thing to do. To say, I excel at selling my products. I excel at team building and networkings. What I want y'all to do in the comments, in the chat, I want y'all to think about a weakness and I want you to express it, reverbalize it in the positive diction. So if you suck at networking, put in the chat, I excel at networking. If you suck at career, if your career is dead end, you suck at working or you suck at making money, say, I am excellent at making money. Because if you can do that in the chat and the viewers can read what is happening in the chat on the screen, now we can have an example of how to utilize the Sun conjunct Pleiades and reference it to our esoteric way of being and use cosmic alignment. These are things that nobody is making up. You could open your Star Walk app and see it for yourself. So once again, this, if you look at that small cluster of stars, that cluster of stars in alignment with the sun is Pleiades, the seven sisters. And this is a portal. This is a good time to have transcendent, divine, spiritual thoughts. This is a good time to learn about hypnosis, trance, out of body experiences, to get into a level of going beyond the visible spectrum. Okay. The human voice is the organ of the soul. So when people do not love you, when people do not embrace you, when people do not see you or recognize you or want to work with you or want to pour into you, or no, that is in the voice, because the voice is connected to the soul. And if you are connected to your soul and your soul is connected to your voice, there is no disruption. There is no blockage. There is no silent treatment. There is no negativity. There is no hurt. There is no pain, because the voice is the organ of the soul. Now, this is why you do soul work, to sweeten the voice. Because when you do not do soul work, you say things like, I am horrible at selling. I am a bad boyfriend. I suck at this. I'm no good at that. I've never been here. I won't do that. Right? And you say this, and now you become a self-fulfilling prophecy. There are no good men. There are no good women. Now, I know I say things like, there's always going to be a woman that's going to love me and like me. I say things like that. I don't say there's no good women. The human voice is the organ of the soul. It's a phrase that succinctly captures both the complexity and the vital importance of a voice as a means of communication, personalization, and identity. So, when we're talking unification and integration, and we're in this Sun and Taurus energy, there is a major blockage that is taking place. The ego is out of control. The ego has taken full control over what you want, need, and desire. And since you have not allowed the soul to be the voice, you can't even verbalize the truth any longer. You've disconnected and separated from the truth because the priority of the soul is not even secondary. It's like 18th on the list. So one day, 3 days ago, Mark chapter 6, verse 14, it comes in my head. It like imprints itself in my head. And I didn't know what the verse meant. I just knew it had something to do with St. John. And I was like, okay, I Googled it, and this is the verse. King Herod heard about this, for Jesus' name had become well known. Some were saying John the Baptist had been raised from the dead, and that is why miraculous powers are at work in him. And I didn't fully understand it, but Spirit said, understand this verse, break down this verse, and you will have a message. So, guess what, guys? That's what we're going to do. So, just kind of give you a quick summary, because in reference to King Herod, Jesus, John the Baptist, these are correspondences to metaphysical concepts such as the ego, the soul, and the intellect. King Herod representing the ego. Okay. Jesus representing the soul, and John the Baptist representing the intellect. So, what we're understanding is a spiritual process. And so, what we tend to do with spirituality, we look at certain parts of the process as the goal, but they're just part of the process. So, if part of the process was sticking your key in the keyhole, that wouldn't mean that you would ever unlock the door. So, when you sign up to a course, that's like putting your key into the keyhole. Completing it is even deeper, putting it deeper into it. Even unlocking it, opening the door, these are all parts of the process. There is no particular celebration, because even when you walk into the building, what are you walking into the building for? Do you live there? Are you there to visit? See, these are the things that spiritual teachers can never elucidate and answer to you because they're too busy trying to rile you up, trying to emotionally have you buy in to what they are selling. There is no end all be all towards this spiritual journey. The same way as there is no end all be all to unlocking a door, walking into a home. Nobody did that and just stayed in the home forever. There's a purpose and a reason for everything that you do and everything that you don't do. However, when you understand the process, then you can go to the next step. And so the next step is in the analogy and the allegory has already played out through the Bible, but this is one of the beginning phases to Jesus where John the Baptist is the guy. And then John the Baptist gets killed. Now Jesus is the guy. Well, in the analogy, they're talking about the intellect which leads you into spirituality. So signing up for the class is good. Putting your key in the lock is good. Unlocking the door is good. But you got to keep going. The problem is, if I put my key in this lock, all of my problems is going to be solved. If I unlock this door, all of my problems is going to get solved. If I walk into this room, all of my problems get solved. This is a mentality that will have you hating Brother Panic, will have you hating Miss Blue, might have you hating every fucking spiritual person, because it's not that they're saying this, it's that you're thinking that if I get a reading from Myra or whoever, my life is complete. That is the final step. But more than not, they will give you even more steps to do. And if they don't give you more steps, they're scamming you. But the intellect is the thing that we're going to bring our mind to. The intellect is something that we need to specifically focus on, since John the Baptist represents the intellect, right? So, further into this thing. So, I was sitting back and I just remembered a lot of the things that had like opened me up to spirituality. And I imagined that I've been obviously getting away from that. So I got back to that. And it was just mainly like listening to John Coltrane music while I study or while I work or just doing things around the house. Because the frequency that John Coltrane delivers is a like a high level of frequency. Like me and my wife's first child together, we named him after John Coltrane, um, and it was just like a very strong return of the energy. And if we were to like go back in time, where they have like Saint Augustine and Saint Peter and things like that, and then fast forward to this time, John Coltrane would be one of those prophets, one of those people that you can turn to for wisdom and to help you. And maybe it's not in words and clear diction, but it is in sound and frequency. So, as I was just simply meditating and just kind of just allowing the energy to kind of just like center into my being, the conversation began to get a lot more clear. And it was basically in reference to the intellect into the spirit and knowing the difference between the two. So, intellect, the etymology of intellect would be as follows: the sum of the cognitive faculties or facilities, except sense or sense and imagination. So, you could be the smartest person in the world. You can do all of the journaling, all of the work, all of the intellectual process. But if you don't have the ability to imagine yourself as an excellent person at making money writing, if you don't have the power to imagine yourself as excelling in social management, if you don't have the imagination to excel at being proactive, if you don't have the imagination to excel at marketing your products, then all of the smarts that you've invested, all of the classes that you took in is never going to work. Is taking a class a bad thing? No. But if I take a class and I imagine myself to be one of the world's best crochet people in the world, and then I see somebody offering an online crochet course, I should take that course because I've already set up the energy. If you go to school and you don't know what you want to do to school, every major is going to be messed up. You need to not go to school until you know what you want to go to school for so you don't waste your money. When you know what you want to go to school for, that's a part of the imagination. So you got to look at a person who is flipping pizza dough at the pizzeria. He imagined himself doing all of this fly shit with the pizza. And then he got the job. And then they said, in order to spin pizza on your head like a dolphin, you got to do it like this. And then he was very attentive to, oh, you're supposed to do it on your fingertips, not not the ball of your toes. Okay, I got it now. So in relationships, you got to imagine yourself to be in a happy relationship first. This is why y'all need to not deal with nobody, because y'all go into relationships thinking niggas ain't shit, imagining that. And now I gotta prove to you that I ain't shit. But nobody is ever checking on you to say, did you imagine us having a healthy and happy, communicative relationship that whenever we had triggers and obstacles, we would overcome those together? Did you imagine what that was going to look like? What that was going to feel like, sound like, taste like? No. But now you listening to Sister blah blah blah's video on how niggas ain't shit, how women ain't shit. And it's feeding your intellect. And now, even worse, it's feeding your imagination. So the problem with the intellect, every cognitive faculty you're able to summons, every bit of knowledge that you have means nothing if you cannot properly imagine a favorable outcome. Because why are you doing what you are doing? Because you're afraid of something bad might happen if you don't do it? Well, that's going to create a lot of pressure and a lot of tenseness in just your everyday being, how you perform, how you act. But when we talk about the soul, when we hammer home the part of the soul, this is non-physical. This is beyond the intellect. This is a part of the sense, and imagination spectrum of your being. And this is where Black people excel at. We don't need to excel in intellect. And I'm going to explain to you why. The intellect prepares you for spirit. The intellect is something that helps you understand spirit, but it isn't spirit. And we can always compare spirit to sex. If I sat here all day and told y'all about the different sexual positions, how different types of ways you could have sex, none of the conversations, imagine how vivid, if I gave you a certificate, if I gave you a degree, none of that, of what you experiencing, is not reference to the sexual experience, because the sexual experience, it requires a level of actuality. Spirituality is the same way. Spirituality is not easily attained more than it is a way of life. To consciously grasp it is basically impossible, because you're going to have to figure out why you're breathing without no books or no school or no. So the first person to figure out why there was breath on the world, nobody can figure that point out. It's just a point of, it just exists as a thing that we all take advantage of and that we all should be grateful of. See, the breath is spirit, the breath is God. Nobody works hard for God. You can't guilt trip a person into breathing. It's just something that takes place. You can't be so smart that you're breathing or so rich that you're breathing. It is just a natural thing that occurs to us as the living. And when you take this away, you take away everything. So if I had a nice house and you took that house away, you just took it away, I was paying my rent and you took it away, that would be horrible. That would be fucked up. but it wouldn't be so bad if you took my breath away. If you took my breath away and you kept my house, well, that would be something beyond bad. That is unfathomable. And this is the realm of spirit, the realm of the unfathomable, the realm of, and we'll bring this back up because we are referencing something that we're deep diving. We are referencing the miraculous powers. And I want y'all to bear witness and understand this. And those who have this in them, they can comment or put it in the chat. I just want to know who's with me. I'll put it in the chat because I reference it. I have miraculous powers within me. And if you don't have miraculous powers within you, that is fine. But I'm telling you that you do. And I'm showing you why and how and where and how to locate those miraculous powers. And it is in the breath. It is not in the hard work and the intellect and what society tells you that you should be doing. And if you're not doing it, you're a piece of shit. That does not make, that's not a miracle. The miracle is you. The power is you. And it is something that you really find in every single second of every single day. It is this deep, beautiful breath that nobody can give to you, nobody can take it away from you without having their own sense of karma. So there's another analogy. This is something that we can use when we study biblical texts. We generally have to refer to earlier or additional biblical texts to bring some understanding of what we're actually talking about, because reading things on the face value is just for babies. So as adepts, as people who are occultists, we are looking for the hidden message. So when we read 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 45, and we read, so it is written that the first man, Adam, became a living being, the last Adam, a life-giving spirit. We don't read that as a straight off the top, because then it doesn't really make sense straight off the top. But if we're just able to go up under the surface, then we can deal with the metaphysics. So anybody that reads the Bible, everything that you're reading is about you metaphysically. So once again, we're only reading about metaphysical concepts. We're not reading about religious or following Jesus or joining a church or nothing like that. We are identifying the first man, Adam, our intellect, which became a living being. Congratulations. We're so proud of that. However, the last Adam is a life-giving spirit. Now, some people, your mom, your dad, the people that you know, your family or friends, they are living beings. But this is where we get into processes, steps. To become a living being is great. To be the type of person that pays your own bills and goes on vacations and starts a business and just is a great guy, awesome. But then there's also people who get into the soul and spiritual work and become a life-giving spirit. They take time out of their day to give to the community, to the public. So in general, you will always have problems. You will always have issues. One, because you're dealing with the intellect, and the intellect says it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to suck dick 5 times a day. It's okay to have a addiction. It's okay to eat meat. It's okay to eat pork. It's okay to eat ass. It's okay to be homeless. It's okay. This is what the intellect does. Now the soul will bring a correction. The cult, it has to. It has to. Because if you are grown, nobody can tell you shit. One's in the chat. Can't nobody tell you shit. You grown and you do what the fuck you want to do. So, with that understanding in reference to the soul work, what are you correcting in your imagination? Because I would imagine a lot of fucked up shit. And because I imagined it, I experienced it, and I created it in my 3D reality. So if I can ever help a person out here in this world, your first step is to figure out how you can help people, and then who is that person that is helping people, and what's stopping you from helping people. And now you have to begin to imagine yourself to be the person that's going to show up for others. Because if you do it any other way, you will be a living being. You will be on the level of the intellect. And that's like unlocking the door, never opening it, never walking through. Some people really do hit the wall. Let's get into a deeper explanation. If there is a natural body, so it is written that the first man, Adam, became a living being. The last Adam, a living spirit. The spiritual did not come first, but the natural, and after that, the spiritual. So, we're not discrediting the intellect, but we would need to know the process of getting to the soul. So, when you journal and you take classes and you take herbs and you do the things that you need to do, these are processes that make the way for the spiritual. And if you don't do these processes, you're not going to get to the spiritual. However, these processes are not the spiritual. And that sentence that I just said will fuck a lot of people up for life. They think because they watch Black Magic 363 and they listen to how the white man ain't shit, or how we just need to meditate, or this video had thousands of views, or I signed up with this, or I bought this and I did that. All of that is a process, but it is not the end goal. And it's hard for people to explain that because we want to be adjacent to something. We want to be the person that's getting the money, the clout, the notoriety. And this message gets lost if I utilize the spirit with my ego. It gets completely lost. It gets completely thrown under the rug, and nobody is getting the actual revelation that they're seeking because they get stuck at a process. The spiritual does not come first. So what is spiritual ego? A spiritual ego is a mind infused with spiritual ideas and beliefs. It's the idea and identity of yourself as being spiritually evolved. Where do y'all get the idea that you have evolved? It's probably because you have done something that is in reference to spiritual clout. Because the purpose is always evolving. The reason that the purpose is always evolving is because it is common sense. It's common sense. If I'm at the house right now, I'm not going to say my purpose at once was to get into the house. But now that I'm in the house, I've developed another purpose. Now I got to get out the house. Now I got a purpose to get in the car, purpose to go to the store. Purpose is always evolving. So spiritually, we can't ever seek the ultimate end goal of what spirituality represents, because spirituality is a breath. A breath is vital for your life, but I cannot go to Aldi's, Sam's Club, Best Buy, and buy a breath. At a certain point, it is a level of imagination. So you mean to tell me the most vital aspect to your life is your breath, but where can I buy some breaths at? Nowhere. So that means I have to imagine what you're talking about? Yes. Wow. But see, I've been more focused and figured on how I was going to do everything in the material world financially. So now that I've got myself figured out financially, well, why haven't I got the results? Why are you looking for results? Purpose is always going to evolve. The intellect is looking for a finite goal. Spirit is looking to always see what the next best thing is in reference to the moment. This is something that will have to be learned. The ego or the intellect are working in tandem, and spirit is somewhere on the outside, like, I'm the reason that this whole shit is actually happening. If you're not gonna think about me, then I'ma just fuck up your whole life and your whole world. And you gonna be fucked up from the inside out. And because you fucked up from the inside out, that's gonna make you wanna keep up fronts even more. Now you gotta get to a point where you gotta be like, all right, I surrender, I submit. And now you into some real spiritual things. Because once you surrender and you submit, you bring yourself into the purpose. The set of beliefs in the spiritual ego might look more favorable than what you have previously thought yourself to be or believed in. You're not special because you've done spiritual things. Hopefully you know this. What makes a person special, you might ask? It's not your culture. It's not your society. It's not the people around you. It's not your status. What makes you special is your ability to commune with your inner, conscious, spiritual, divine nature. How clear can you see that? Now, the reality is if you don't do the work, you won't see it very clearly. And if you're around people who don't care, then there'll be obstructions. It's going to be a lot, you know? But how does one get to the spirit? How does one get to the soul? Release. Release. Let it go. Whatever you holding on to in your imagination. This is for the people who might watch this video later in life. This is for the people who watching this video on live, but I need some participation. Negative feelings are a part of my imagination. Negative feelings are a part of my imagination. Because you got a real big stronghold on this particular negative feeling, but you're only imagining it. And since you're only imagining it, you could imagine yourself to let it go. And as things happen, as things occur, you'll feel it and you'll let it go. You have a mind, and your mind is this cup. You don't want to fill up this cup. However, if the mind does get full, you have to empty the cup. You don't add more. If you got trouble in your life right now, if you got a situation going on right now and you need a solution and the solution is not clear, you got to empty your mind. I'm going to empty my mind to solve my problems. Put that in the chat. The conscious mind is not programmed. The cup is not programmed to solve your problems. The soul is. But you need to fill your mind with divine things. Divine things do not cause trouble and problems in your life. Intellect and bullshit is why your mind is full and you can't have any clear solution. Now, if you don't do this, if you don't release, continue to imagine negative feelings and negative emotions because I'm giving you the process of how this shit works. I'm telling you how this shit goes. And if you say, I don't want to let go of shit, I'm going to hold on to shit, that's going to be my solution, then fuck it. You know? Like, ain't nothing else, you know? You just like, let it go. If you imagining negative stuff, let it go. And then what happens after that, you don't know. You have to let the purpose evolve in reference to the moment. When you have a specific expectation of a particular result, that is because you are in the space of trauma and unresolved trauma, unresolved triggers. So if it doesn't happen the way you want it to happen, you're ready to get into your fight or flight. And because you got Chakra Nova and you didn't read it, you just bought it because you like, Kyrie, I'm gonna support you. You're not supporting me by buying Chakra Nova. You're supporting me by activating your root chakra, activating your sacral chakra, and helping these young women, helping join the fight, helping these young men and women educate themselves on, yes, y'all depressed, yes, y'all mentally disconnected, but yes, y'all fucking like it's going out of style. Y'all 20, but y'all got the sexual history of a 70-year-old prostitute. And now you so mad that you don't have no conversation and no clarity to your emotions. And if I told you everything that you experiencing emotionally is all a result of imagination, you would call me a liar. If I said everything that you feel like is your biggest problem, you could easily and simply let it go, which would then create or start the chain reaction or ignite the process of a solution, you would call me a liar. But I'm not. You in your conscious mind is like, if the solution is an ocean, you spend all day trying to figure out how you gonna fit the ocean into a cup. Got this problem, that problem. Then your kids got problems, that problem. Then your friends got this problem, that problem. Your mom got this problem, that problem. And you sit here trying to figure out, well, how do I get the ocean into this cup? Common sense says that's impossible. So now we use John the Baptist, or we use the intellect to now begin to create the conditions for spiritual healing. We live our lives with the expectation of soul clarity. We create the space for the soul. So what is the spiritual work? 99% of the time is releasing. 99% of the time is letting go. 99% of the time you holding on to some shit that you should have let go of. 99% of the time, ladies and gentlemen. The other 1% is a piano flying out the sky. All of a sudden, you walking outside like you was in Nope. The goddamn quarter fall on your brain. Some weird shit happen like that. Otherwise, you are 100% responsible through your verbalization and vocalization. And your vocalization and verbalization is a result of those inner thoughts. And ain't nothing, no amount of money in the world that can make me go into your mind and start believing in yourself. That's actually your responsibility to start believing that what? What are we believing? So we can be clear on this conversation. We are believing that we have miraculous powers within ourselves. That takes strength. That is not easy because within ourselves, we beat ourselves up. And then we look for validation from other people to say, yeah, you're awesome. You're amazing. And then we feel like once this happens, once our wife says, yes, you fucked me like a god, then all of a sudden our life then becomes purposeful. But if we didn't say it to ourselves, no matter what happens externally, because the people who get praised by society, they don't feel great all the time, believe it or not. Why? Because in order to be raised from the dead, in order to integrate your intellect with the soul, you have to come to the realization that the miraculous power is within you. So, as much as you be worried if a piano is going to fall on top of your head or, you know, some crazy shit going to happen to you or you're not going to find a man. And if you do find a man, he going to cheat on you and ain't no good women out here. And all of these are a result of your imagination. These is your immersions because the internet got millions of hours of content. And when we choose something, or we entertain a dialogue, we might find it to be a perceptive truth. There ain't no good men if we had bad dates. But you can also say that you weren't prepared for that relationship. But saying that I'll do you an example. I was so geeked up to read about I was about to read Financial Sorcery last night. And he started talking about how the first thing in the Financial Sorcery is that you need to find out where you got spending bad habits at. And there's like, the shit that you need to stop spending money on. And if you're trying to do some magic with money, you need to stop spending money on frivolous shit. I got triggered and I cut the damn audiobook off of. And I was thinking about it today as I was driving, like, damn, that shit really triggered me. I really wasn't prepared to hear that. Right? And this is in reference to something that we say that we want, but we don't say it within ourselves. So when we say it within ourselves and we deal with the soul, we're instantly ready for the correction. So if I was in the right frame of mind, I would have been listening for the correction. Instead, I was triggered by the correction. So I'm saying that to say, it's going to be some hard ass work. It's going to really be in a result of you being triggered. So let's get into what we're here to talk about, which we've already been talking about, but we're going to get a little bit further. We're going to get a little bit deeper, and I'm going to end this video. Thank y'all for joining me for Hood in the Morning as we deal with the channel from St. John on getting to our miraculous powers within ourselves. All life is a result of either spirit or soul. Or said this way, all life is an impulse of astral or fiery energy. It is never both. It is always one or the other. What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get, they say, but only if you are prepared to feel will you know what you are truly getting. What you see is what you get. So we started off this conversation looking externally, feeling like the world is over, Joe Biden the president, so forth and so on. Inflation, recession, crypto millionaires done without a business, so forth and so on. The world is over, right? Now, this is what you see. Now, but only if you are prepared to feel. So, what are you prepared for? This comes from a level of deep imagination. If I know I want to be a plumber and I go to plumber school, it's a high level that I'm gonna go through the plumber program. If I don't know I want to be a plumber and my mom say, "You know what? You should go to plumber school." The first time that the plumber instructor called me a stupid ass motherfucker, I'm leaving the school. And then I'm going to say, "Well, why you leave the school?" Because he called me a stupid ass motherfucker. Now think about NBA players who really want it. They got to fight through a certain type of level of adversity to really want it. And in some people, once that adversity come, it's over. Now you got to always think, is you prepared to feel the feeling of winning? If you prepared to feel the feeling of winning, then you're going to train. If you prepared to be in a happy relationship, then you going to figure out what that man wants. This is your goal in the relationship. Your goal in the relationship isn't to play mind games, to figure niggas out, to have to be coy, to be Lorray, right? It's not to do none of that. The purpose of the relationship is to figure out what that man wants, what that woman wants. Who's the support role in the relationship? If the woman is the lead and you the man, you the support. If the man is the lead, then you the woman, then you the support. If I'm already got shit going, I need support. Period. Now, you're going to have a hard time finding a man that wants to support you as far as like, but it's not hard. I think that'll be easy. You just got to have your mindset outside of hypergamy. You got to look for more of like a stay at home dad type of energy, type of nigga wearing Michael Kors bags and Birkin bags and stuff. He'd be like, "Hey girl," you'd be like, "Hey, you think you want to be my boyfriend?" That type of shit, right? I need me a down ass bitch. You feel me? "Oh, girl, you know I got it. Where the kids at?" Telling them to meet their new stepdaddy. Hey kids. Hey. If you in your masculine, you need support. You need to find you a nice little beta feminine male. It's a lot of beta feminine males that would be excellent husbands for y'all. They'll be excellent support for y'all ambitious energy. And if you know what I'm saying, and vice versa. I'm not throwing no shade. But you got to look at this and be really prepared to feel it. So let's continue. We're going to deal with illusion, glamour, and Maya. But first, we're going to deal with Maya. What is Maya? Maya can be simply described as the identification of self by emotion and only through emotions. So, how you feel about yourself is Maya. The emotions surrounding yourself is Maya. These spirits and human incarnates only perceive and live by what has been done to them by others. So when you are an emotional person and you choose the wrong man and the relationship don't end right, he would have been a great guy. If the relationship don't end the way you think it's supposed to end, because he is a good guy, you don't feel good about the relationship. One's in the chat if that makes sense. Because since he was a good guy and the relationship didn't work out, then that means that he must have not been a good guy when the reality, the Maya of the situation is that you could never get to giving him that good energy in return, right? Now, if he's a bad guy, right, it's easy to say, I ain't fucking with him. He was a cheater, a liar, it's always this particular story. This is why all men are bad and evil. Because there isn't no real conversation in reference to why the good niggas ain't work out. Because then it's like I wasn't too feminine. I wasn't in my feminine energy. I wasn't submissive enough. You never heard that before. Even if that was the case. Because emotions are illusions. The emotional plane is a part of the illusionary plane. Because you can have somebody say, I love you, I care for you, I love you, I care for you, I love you, I care for you. Hey, I need $20 real quick to pay this bill or they going to cut my lights off. I don't got it, baby. I love you, I care for you, I love you, I care for you. Oh, why you need $20 from me? I don't love you no more. I don't care for you no more because you broke. This is where you got to be real careful about how you fuck with and who you fuck with, especially if they fucking with you on a level of emotion, but ain't no service or no real shit getting done. Nothing really happening. So she love you and she on high vibrationals in relationship to you, but once that shit change, she's subject or liable to do anything. He's subject or liable to do anything. He love bombing you. He buying you all of this shit. And you ain't did nothing for this man. You cannot, bro, sis. You cannot think that you is so sexy. I was looking at my glasses the whole time. And it was right there. That's so crazy. I'm like, damn, where are my glasses at? I've been looking at them this whole time. It is no thing that you done did for this man. Let me clean his pieces off. But he doing all of this stuff for you, and you ain't saying nothing. You just getting it. You just receiving it. And now he telling you to do something, and you don't feel like doing it. And now he's stalking you. Now he crazy. Ooh, girl, this nigga crazy. He was crazy when he was doing all of that shit for you and you ain't did nothing for him. What is cause this is not, see, if y'all in some fairy tale Disneyland shit in y'all heads, minds, and hearts, then a nigga will play on that shit, sis. He gonna play on that shit. He gonna do all of the shit you want him to do. And then he gonna flip mode, squad, Buster Rhymes, Spliff Star, Rampage, Rod Digger on your ass. You be like, woo-ha, I got you all in check. You be like, damn, what the fuck just happened? I thought you loved me. He love bombed you. You don't deserve good shit. You didn't put in no work. It's always going to flip. Always going to flip. And now when you an adult and you do it right and you know what you offering, you know what you providing, it is what it is. It ain't no surprises. Emotions, Disney World, Tyler Perry movies, rap songs, romantic novels, got your brain in a tizzy. Y'all think relationships exist emotional. So when the emotions change, y'all have no backup. So the purpose of this relationship, if your relationship ain't grounded in acts and service, your relationship ain't really grounded in shit. Your grandma and your granddad had a house. One's in the chat. If your great grandma and your great granddad had a house together, they did not buy that house with love. They bought that house through acts and service. And did your grandma and granddad maintain that house? Meaning that your granddad might have paid for it, but your grandma cleaned that house from top to bottom. She sprung clung. She had the little plastic over the seats. Y'all had a family room. Y'all had a dining room. Y'all had all of this shit. Great grandma had that. because great grandma and great grandma, they did not operate on love. They didn't have social media, they didn't have Disney movies, they didn't have none of this emotional shit imprinting their brain, having them look at niggas like they need. Your granddaddy was kinda ugly. One's in the chat. He was kinda dusty. He didn't deserve your grandma. One's in the chat. You like, damn, granddad, you really did upgrade with grandma. How that happened? Cause she wasn't looking. I was growing up in the 2000s and the 90s. It was a time where you could be all right looking and get some ass. I ain't know how crazy it was until I looked at a girl's IG and I seen the niggas that was on her IG. I said, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Niggas was in cars I ain't never seen before, clothes I ain't never seen before, hair full of waves, sunglasses on, light skinned niggas. I'm just like, God damn, these niggas sexy as hell. Why the fuck you with me? You could be with one of these niggas on your IG. What the fuck is happening? So I know, like, emotions and illusions have invaded and integrated your minds. So now when it comes to an actual relationship, a nigga gotta be a perfect 10 and you already think you're a perfect 10. Illusions, emotions. And if I tell you, you look halfway decent, I look halfway decent, that's why we make a perfect pair. Girls think like, I be on Facebook all the time, like, what up to all my halfway decent looking friends? They be thinking I'm taking shots. No, we in the same tax bracket. I look halfway decent. You look halfway decent. You don't need to be up in here. You think you R. Kelly, you believe you can fly? Not all the time. Deal with a regular nigga. I might be able to set it off, but hypergamy and illusions make it impossible to even think about dealing with a regular nigga. In the elite, they only smashed and dashed. I'm really trying to really love you and shit. This world is fucked up, bro. So you gotta be real careful. They see the world only through their inner suffering and through their unresolved inner turmoil. If you don't come across a woman that want to deal with the acts and services that come with dealing with the relationship, you are dealing with Maya. And she do not see you based upon the acts and services that you do. She not trying to do no acts and services. She only seeing you through the way of your inner suffering. He is only seeing you through his inner suffering, through his unresolved inner turmoil. The reason that I know this is because people is not having psychological conversations. They only play in high school. Who can wear the nicest outfits? I seen a nigga's IG. It's grown ass men still doing the same shit they was doing in high school. Wearing outfits, doing the peacock mating dance. What do peacocks do? They got the brightest feathers to get the hoes. And y'all be the hoes. So, correct me if I'm wrong. Glamour can be described as those who identify self in what they do and all they do. For these, all that is done is a reflection of who they are and what they believed. They are identified with, to, and from the world. The appearances of the flesh and outer qualities are a reflective image of who they think they are. Very simple shit right here. And since you're not having psychological conversations, you're not really demanding to have a psychological understanding, you are on the internet or in your life and in your social circle trying to impress motherfuckers. not trying to heal your inner turmoil, not try and it was a real break for me, like, cause a lot of my life I was trying to impress the people that I knew. And the major break for me is when I started to try to heal my inner trauma. When I started to really deal with my inner child. And in this next 2 weeks, when the sun entered Gemini, we gonna be in that inner child space. So if you don't do the work now, it's going to get exacerbated in Gemini. We talking about mental illness on fleek. So I just want to help you with the mental health, the mental medicine. It's imagined in the inner world. It can get so big. It can get so large. And I could tell you that you really ain't shit to me. And you could get internal about it. Damn. Why you feel like that about me, hood? That's just how I feel. It don't matter. It even deeper, I'm telling you some shit that people already feel that you just don't even fucking know. You think everybody like you? You think everybody love everything that you fucking do? That's not true. There's motherfuckers out here that can't stand you. Every time you enter the room, they be like, damn, here this motherfucker go. Shit. Hey girl, how you doing? Oh, you look so nice. If you judge every decision you make based upon how you feel about a person, you will find yourself into some fucked up positions. You will find yourself around some fucked up people. If you give your pussy to whoever you felt had the appearances of the flesh, like, ooh, he was so sexy, girl. He was so sexy that you thought that that was a reflective image of who you thought that you are. You said, he a sexy nigga, I must be a sexy bitch. You said, she a sexy girl, I must be a sexy guy. Now you fucking hog-tied, right? Niggas in there with the 38 specials to your face, like, where the money at? You old stupid ass nigga. She done robbed your ass. Cause of glamour. Now you gotta really sit, like, sex and relationships, and that's why internet is cool. And to actually sit and build a relationship, you gotta figure out all of the shit outside of the outward appearance. Gotta start reading people reviews and seeing people longevity and seeing what people have done over time, and like before you even begin to even invest emotional energy. But if a cute nigga that you feel like you like and he start liking you and y'all start connecting, you gonna be emotionally attracted to this person. And that is a lack of emotional intelligence. He must do something, you must do something. Like, you would be in a real fucked up situation if you rely on emotions to navigate your relationships. Because emotions are based upon illusions. I'm only saying this because there is no other way that black people relate to each other outside of emotions. So therefore, when you have a bunch of fake friends and fake acquaintances, it's based upon your emotional lack of intelligence. So let's get into this. Illusion is the mental incarceration of the first two. So the first two being Maya, where you think everything you feel is correct and you think everything you see is correct. Now within your inner world, your intellect is a basis of illusion. It's incarcerated, it's a prison. Glamour, Maya, emotional expectations, everything you want out of life internally is all fucked up. And like, I want a quick solution. You gotta remove it all. You gotta delete files. You gotta live in an area of purity, an area of presence, an area of mindfulness, not mindful, but being presently aware with no past triggers or future expectations, removing your ability to perceive the present moment. Now, it's going to be hard if you got triggers and negative emotions because their emotional pain is locked into their emotional body, and hence they seek intellect for exclusive expression, right? So this is where you get spiritual people all day, every day, people in general, influencers, internet people. I don't want to beat up on the spiritual people. I love the spiritual people, but in general, right? If they can't tell you the shit that they had to overcome, then how do you know that the spirit has even worked for them? Niggas know me as Kyrie, that fat dude over on Lippert selling the weed, you know. Why don't you have your shoes tied? Why are you just out here looking like this? Like, I really look at my past life as like a lump of clay. I was so in my trauma, so in my triggers that, you know, just was a dead consciousness. And it got so bad that it began to spark me into a voice. It began to spark me into a level of healing and a level of connection and a level of health and a level of prosperity and a level of success and a level of relationships, love. You know, I even got a couple side bitches, you feel me? Like a whole bunch of shit started working out for me. You like, Kyrie, you just said you got a side bitch. Don't you got a wife? Yeah, I got one of those too. Like, I got a wife, I got a couple hoes, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you just out here living in your truth. Like, yes, I'm living in my truth and I'm okay. Now, what is you doing? You could be like, damn, you just said that, or you doing this, and why are you doing that? I'm not locked into my emotional pain. I could tell you what it's like. I can tell you what it's like to not be. And let me just keep going. Their emotional pain is locked into their emotional body, and hence they seek the intellect for exclusive expression. The discarnates and incarnates who are ruled by the force of illusion are in denial of such emotional imprisonment and thus proceed to intellectualize themselves. I love meeting a new beautiful woman that we have mental and emotional connection because that is not from me or from her. It is a spiritual thing. And it's not even something that I can even conjure. It just happens. Right. And you'd be like, well, you shouldn't say that. That's wrong. I'm not locked in to whatever you think I'm locked into. And I'm just giving y'all an example of what's being said because it's no intellectual thing to say about spirituality. It just is. I done did rituals in the trees. I done did rituals in my home. I done did veves on the ground to get a new house. I done did burnt Adam and Eve candles for love. I done burnt peppermint for money. I done buried a $5 bill underground, meditated on that $500 bill, and woke up to $10,000 the next day. You understand? I've done some shit magically, right? And there's no way that the things that I done I can transfer onto you. I just told you some shit that I done. Now, if you do it and it don't work for you, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. I don't have no proof. All I can say is that if you don't have no money and you got $1, $5, and you need to like come up on some money, you better bury that $5 and meditate on that $5. And please don't dig up that fucking $5. Leave that shit in the ground. Meditate on that, and if you don't have no money, then shit, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. However much you paid for that, just I'll give you a motherfucking refund. Right? So let's keep continuing. The discarnates and incarnates who are ruled by the force of illusion are in denial of such emotional imprisonment and thus proceed to intellectualize themselves, numbing their emotional instability, and hence identification of self is derived from intellectual ideals, divine ideologues, and things that you read about but don't really understand. You're not trying to understand. Acquire intellectual achievements. I got a certificate here. I got a degree there. And the notion that those beneath them, because I've done this, I am better than you. And 99% of the spiritual people that's repping this spiritual shit is saying because they are doing some shit that they are now better than everybody else. And that's their claim to fame. But it's based upon illusion because spiritually, we are all equal. We are all the same. I cannot give you knowledge that you can't get from yourself. I cannot give you knowledge that you can't get from yourself. Nobody can give you knowledge that you can't get from yourself. And if your relationship ain't the relationship that's bringing you bliss, then you need to vocalize it. If your job is not your purpose, then you need to vocalize it. Because holding shit in is an emotional imprisonment. They believe in the power of the ideologue as having the answers to the world problems. None of the bodies of expression or consciousness contain true qualities of love that stem from the inner heart. For them, love is an emotional state or a calculated mental expression. And love is. It's either on or it's off. God controls love. God, spirit, higher energy controls love. Not your mental calculation, not yo how to get a man class or how to get a man book or goddess school or anything that have to do with anything besides spiritual things. The immersion of spiritual truth found within yourself may or may not bring you a relationship. You could do everything on the world, but having a quality person that match your energy is something that you gonna have to just be saying all the fucking time. Cause you know what I say all the time? Beautiful women just love the fuck out of me. And so I got dressed, I threw on my little head wrap. And she about 5'10", 5'9", maybe 5'8". Statuesque with it, you know what I'm saying? And she had on them goddamn leggings. You know them leggings, but she had on the shorts. The leggings with the little ribs in it to make your butt look bigger than what it actually is. But she already had a big butt, so the shit was just like crazy. And she wasn't perfect, you know what I'm saying? She had like eyelashes that like the eyelashes was like this long. So from this point, like her eyelashes stuck out like this. So I was like, damn, that's kind of crazy. You got eyelashes that long. But she was just giving me energy. And it wasn't like I got her number or no weird shit like that. Or it's just like just the energy of a girl like enjoying your presence and your energy and your knowledge. And it don't mean that you gonna fuck her or you gotta flirt with her, but you just know what it is. Like, you just know what it is. Like, damn, if I was 20 years younger, I'd have, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just, like, I guess the saying is, you just want to know that you still got it, right? And so, I feel like I will do all of this work and work out, and if a girl just be looking at me like, ew, I mean, it's just really not giving what it's supposed to give right now. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And I'm not going to feel good about that. So I wouldn't never just sit and verbalize and say, you know, these girls, they don't like me. These girls ain't shit. I really be just like I'm crazy. So y'all can take this or leave this, but I'm so crazy. I just be feeling like the girl that love me is just gonna be in love with me so deeply. And if she not, then I'm just crazy. I'm just a stupid loco person. But guess what? I'ma always I'ma always feel that. You feel me? And I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to have the conversations. I'm really to figure that part out. So it's just like, yeah, I'm surrounded by positive energy, financially, everything. I just think about what I want and I do the work. I really deal with my triggers. I understand my triggers. I recognize, like, I see them. They visceral to me, and I'm just like, ooh, that's a trigger. I need to work through that. And yeah, it's like the biggest key is realizing this. We got to learn how to make the small large and make the large small. So if there's a big trouble, a big problem, a big issue, and it's heavy in your mind, reduce the size of it. And if the power of your soul, if the miraculous powers of your soul is not at the highlight, then make that bigger. So we make the divine larger, and we take the intellect and we make it smaller. And we are preparing ourselves for good things to happen. And this is for all of us. Whatever you're going through is not that big of a deal. And if you forgetting the power that's within yourself, it's time to raise that energy up. So we're going to be back tomorrow to deal with some Kundalini madness. I'm going to have crack open this baby tomorrow. Chakra Nova. We're going to talk about some goddamn chakras tomorrow. So tune in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share this video, like the video. I really do appreciate y'all for rocking with me this edition of Hood in the Morning, St. John. Tomorrow we're going to deal with that good old sacral chakra, talk about little sex, one of my favorite topics, you feel me? A little sexy time, you feel me? So this has been an edition of Tantric Tuesdays, a Hood in the Morning. I've been your host, the Hood Mystic. Thank y'all for watching. Comment if it was something that you really took from this video that you could really, other people could use, right? So if you like, damn, I needed to hear that, maybe somebody else needed to hear that, and it helps the channel grow, all you got to do, take out 2 minutes of your time, type a little something in my comments. It is very much appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you in advance. All right. So, oh yeah, follow me on IG. It's at the Hood Mystic. And if you don't know how to spell that, it will be on this video that's coming right now.